Dear viewers, you are welcome again to our program, Family Circle.
Of a family, they can't tell anybody. They can't even cry. You don't want to remember what your parents go through. You don't
With children. So when you start the program or parents or family be pressurizing you, when are you going to you want to understand one another? And don't
The way they should communicate is discuss everything. Don't keep any matter to yourself. Now, if you don't understand,
Hello everyone. I am so excited today to have you on this show. Today is Family Cycle, and we are privileged to have a wonderful couple with us here today. From my right, we have Pastor Daniel and Divine INYANG.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. At my front, we have Pastor Larry and Yemisi Adedipe. You're welcome, sir.
thank you.
Today, I just want to introduce this show to us, the benefit of Family Cycle. The purpose of Family Cycle is to bring unity and peace among families and to strengthen family communication, whereby building a strong bond and intimacy among families. And I know to our viewers, as they watch us, they will discover more of the benefit of this show. I also want to introduce our host today, which is Pastor Daniel. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, my name is Daniel Yang. Well, I would love you to call me King Daniel. I'm going to be the host of this Family Circle TV show. Actually, like our moderator Bradley said, we want to have a platform where we want families to see how they can tap into what God has done in our lives. I believe that we've been married for 20 years. We have experience. I know you have been married for more than that. So we want to see how this show can help people out there. Now, to start with, we know that marriage is the institution that is established by God Himself. And as such, there are expectations that is required. But today, you agree with me that some people don't really understand how they can manage this marriage, how they've been having issues and they've been struggling. The first thing we want to discuss today is the issue when it comes to communication. Communication is something that has eaten deep into many marriages, and today they have loggerheads. I want to ask, or want to discuss this matter. Looking at communication in itself, when you have something important to discuss, you have something that is very salient that you want to discuss, definitely, I don't know how you do that on the grounds that now that you're married, you have children. How do you manage that? I don't know, Pastor Aledipe, Larry, maybe you can start the discussion.
Um, the issue of communication in marriage is very, very important. You know, without communication, or where there is lack of communication, there will be problem in marriage. And if you trace the problem that many marriages are having today, if you can trace it to lack of communication. But when there is no communication between couples, there will be misconceptions, there will be misgivings, and in some cases it has even led to divorce. So when you want to communicate, primarily it is between the husband and the wife, because they are the two parties in the marriage institution. Though we know the children are also important, but in most cases the communication takes place between the man and the wife, and that takes place in the seclusion of their room. In fact, I have seen some couples that it is even in the middle of the night when they want to discuss very important things, that they wake up with each other and then they discuss. And there and then they iron out the issues that are involved. But though in some cases too, the children may be involved. But even in such cases, a man and a woman will meet first, then they will now bring in the children if necessary.
Okay.
So that is
All right. Okay. That's
That's right.
Well, yeah, Missy, can you just do you have anything to add to what Pastor said?
I want to go back to the how family started.
Okay.
I believe it's in the Garden of Eden when God created man and he found out that it was not good enough for a man to be alone.
Mm.
And he knew I felt God saw the importance of a woman
Okay.
and the importance of multiplication through a family. That's why he established the marriage. And that God has made the foundation of the marriage from that period then. So that makes me to say that it's very important for us to communicate. To communicate with God. The husband and the wife also communicate, and the extension of communication goes to the children as well. Like my own family, though my children they are grown up.
Yeah.
At times we discuss things together. At times my daughter will say, "Oh, you people you have become more like a brother and sister. The way you talk to one another, the way you communicate, the way you know." Then at times our son too comes in, so we're interwoven. Except maybe there are some issues that will be between the husband and the wife. But generally, I think when the children are they, we make it open to them as well. Except they are not matured enough to hear what we are saying, so that they too will grow and understand and know how to go about it when it comes to their own turn. When they get married, they'll be able to use their own parents as examples, and they'll be able to do, oh, I will not want to do what my parents say this, they will not like it. Or, oh, I saw my parents when they were handling issues. Like me, I lost that aspect because I lost my dad when I was about not up to 10 years. So whenever I hear the issue of my father, daddy in the school, I felt bad. Do you understand? Until I got born again and I realized that there's a father that's even higher than my own biological father. So marriage, communication is very important in the aspect of of marriage. Very, very. If you don't communicate with one another as husband and wife as a family, how will I expect my husband to know me or to understand me? How will I expect my children as well to understand us or to know us better? Like me now, for example, I have to leave Nigeria to come and join my family. It's not I don't know, I don't have other things doing over the world. As I realized that I'm retired, let me go back to my family because I miss them a lot. If there has been any clash or any segregation, any separation, anything that is not making the family to come together via communication or via other things, showing love to one another, attending to issues and discussion. Oh, I will say, let me just stay back and I'll be coming once in a while. But I realize that thing is still missing. I need to communicate with them. So it's very crucial.
Great. Communication is very important. Okay, now, so my wife, my amazing, beautiful wife, I don't know if you have anything to contribute to how you can communicate in the space of, when you have newly married, communication may be smoother, but not necessarily. People can even be married today and still have the problem of communication.
Yes.
Some people can be married today. Now let's look at how do you think you can communicate when you have your children with you?
Okay. I'll start by saying, when it comes to newly married couple, the way they should communicate is discuss everything. Don't keep any matter to yourself.
Okay.
Now, if you don't understand each other, ask questions. Talk about it. Don't assume for the other person. Don't think for your spouse. For instance, okay, maybe an issue happened and you don't understand why your husband or your wife behave in a particular way. then you just assume, oh, maybe I did this because of this. It's better. Call the person's attention
Okay.
and ask, why did you do it this way? It's better. So that you understand where the person is coming from. Oh, I did this. Or, okay, let's look at maybe he parked the car. Normally, he's supposed to park the car on the driveway. And he now parked the car on the road. You are now inside, you are wondering, why is he parked on the road? Instead of him to park on the driveway where he's supposed to park. Then you keep quiet, say, I'll keep it. You understand? Instead of you to ask, why did you park on the road? Yes, on clarity, understand why the action that has been taken, that was taken.
You know, there is something about this communication. I grew up in a room apartment where my parents were together, my father, my mother, and my 4 other siblings were together. We've never heard them discuss. I don't know how they do it, but I know that the family was moving. So you can imagine where there is discussion, my father, my mother, they never fought. I never heard any exchange of whatever. When I grew up, I was asking, when were they having time to discuss important issues? Because there are important issues instead of school, paying school fees, and all this. When do they have it? Today, we have big house. You can stay anywhere. So the people who are just coming up, like the younger ones who want to be married today, what advice can you throw to them in the area of communication? Now that, let's assume now they don't have the luxury of a big place. What can we say, Pastor? What do you think we can tell them to do in that kind of situation?
In what type of situation then?
I give example of, I stayed in one room with my parents, with 4 siblings. My father were together in one room. I never heard when they discussed, but discussion was being made because I know there was progress in the family. Because I don't think they were moving. I don't know time they discuss. Now, today, we have big environment. I can go to my room and say, hey, you, go out. I tell my children, I want to discuss my wife. So go to your rooms and stay. But now we have young people who are just coming that they just want to start their life in a small place and they happen to fall in this situation. How would they communicate effectively that third party, like their children, will not interfere? Because there are some communications that your children must not be involved in. So how do we handle that?
I think it boils down to responsible parenting.
Okay.
Because when we're talking about communication, apart from planning and other issues, the issue of there can be quarrel too, or disagreement is still part of communication. At times we disagree in order to agree. Okay. So that's why I said it boils down to responsible parenting. There are some things that you don't need to say in the presence of your children. You should know when you should have such discussions.
Okay.
Even when just as the example you have just given, that your parents, you never knew how they did it.
True.
And that is how it's supposed to be. As responsible adults and parents, they should know when. Like for instance, now as you were saying, such communication can take place even when you are off to school and they too are alone.
Okay.
It could take place in the middle of the night. Okay. Now, something that even sounds so funny to me is that all of you living in a room and you are still able to, the parents were in the same room,
yes,
the children were in the same room.
Yes.
Okay, I've never bothered, now that we're an adult, how do they meet? How do they have intimate relationship without even knowing? So the same thing applies to discussion or communication between them. So they know the right time to discuss such things without the children knowing.
Okay.
And
okay. From what you said, I'm taking out is time.
Yeah.
So you must look for the right time to have that.
Yes.
Well, viewers, we are discussing about communication.
I want to come in there.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you give instances of our parents, in those days, there is no much civilization like this. I will also use my parent as an example. Today, my siblings and I, we used to discuss. My mother never tell us anything. She never complained about anything. But she was going through a lot. Your parents are going through a lot. So, personally, myself, I don't encourage that to children of these days. Our parents can hide secrets. They are deteriorating inside. Our mothers are so hot because they carry a lot of the family. They can't tell anybody. They can't even cry. You don't want to remember what your parents go through. You don't want to know what your dad put your mother through, because the woman want to build a home. The way they consider about putting home together is quite different now. That's why there's a lot of divorce everywhere. Our parents don't believe in that. So having said that, I personally would have preferred that my mother speak out. Not that she was maltreated, but due to the kind of man, the man of everybody, she just want to keep the phone, don't want the family, the children to feel it. So personally me, I look at communication in another level. I train my children whereby they will learn, just like you said. There is no secret. When things are going well, they know. When there are challenges, they know. And my children become my companionship, my advisor. Someone that I can say, hey, look at what happened. Even before it happened, it now become nobody again. I may say, okay, look at what your daddy did. What do you say about that? They are my encourager. They are my supporter. In working together as one. If you really want to build a strong family, you must include your children with it. And nobody is judgmental or trying to side the other, because we are building a family of peace.
I think the danger in that sometimes, if you begin to tell everything about your husband to your children, at times it may sow in those children some seed of discord or hatred for their father. That, oh, this man is treating my mom. But if it is just to carry them along about the problems, maybe which the man is passing through, that one is fine.
No, depends on what
Or
it
if it
is.
is to praise the man and say, see what your dad is doing to me, I don't think that
No, my husband is not doing anything to me.
No.
Remember, first of all, you build a family with harmony.
Okay.
A family first, before communication arises, there must be a foundation built. Some foundations are built on a rocky ground, right? Meaning that something causes miscommunication. You understand? When I mean of communication, depending on the family, meaning that a family are working together, that communication is built on the development of what concerns the family, which the children is involved. Though when it comes to communication, it's of difference. I'm not talking to the kind of communication you talk bad about your husband. No. Even when that.
Yeah, I understand. Now, what you're saying invariably is this. Like my wife was trying to bring it in. When you have issues that has to do with the family, all the stakeholders should be included in that discussion. Because if you want to do something in the family that involves your children, if you don't get their buy-in, that thing may not go on. So I want to agree with what she's saying in this context that, see, this is it, provided the foundation is solid. But where, like she has already debunked that, no, it's not that there's anything. That means that there's openness in that family.
Yes, when you have open communication, for example, I use my parents, right? Meaning that when things are not going wrong, when I'm hot, right? I can share. My children will not be judgmental. I will say, Mommy, don't worry, daddy doesn't mean anything or something like that. It's not that, unless a child that see that the husband is maltreating you, beating you and all that, is quite different.
No, if it is that kind of communication,
No
that
problem.
is okay.
Yeah.
That is
But
okay.
first, even if it's a communication that bad things are happening, the children sees, right? Who do they talk to? And if they ask you, what would you say? So invariably, what I was saying is that, based on what you said, our parents, they have a way of coordinating themselves, and it's very rare for any woman to talk bad of his husband before the children. A good woman will always tell the children the reason, even if they ask her, right? Even if they ask her. And I've seen a situation in my house where my children see that maybe I'm hot, you understand? And they can go to their dad and say, Daddy, why is mommy feeling this way? And they will talk to him because somebody outside is not supposed to hear. You understand? So, and also I want to bring it that um, communication in a family come to a stage when you people are just getting married. The couples are struggling in putting things in order. It's hard. They must always have problem, misunderstanding, because at that time they are learning themselves. But at the stage of which we are now, there is better understanding. Maybe you would have tested it and now know your balance. Whereby you can stay in a family that you don't even hear noise. Because you see that they have the style of communicating with each other. So, what am I trying to say? I rather prefer an open communication. You understand? Open communication is where you express yourself freely and have understanding. And if we're married that they build themselves very well, the children will not even know because there will be no misunderstanding. Everything we discuss is inside.
Even if they have, like Pastor Lara said, even if they have, you understand, you don't show it to your children. You don't show it because sometimes there are this misunderstanding that you just swallow it and see how you can resolve it for the children. Because when the children begin to get those glimpses of that thing, it also transfers to them. They begin to say, "Oh, this is what will happen." So
that is if you don't talk to them, if you don't have communication. For me, I would say that it is very important because you think your children don't know, they know everything. No matter how you silence it, your mood they know, your countenance they know. You think they don't know? They see. And they will not ask because daddy and mom will not talk.
I agree absolutely with you, and I'm okay with that. But what I'm saying is there are still some important discussions that should be between husband and wife because the Bible says the two shall be one, no attached. Viewers,
Can I ask a question?
we have come to take a break now. This is the heated discussion. After this break, we are going to come back to continue discussing about communication in our marriage. Thank you very much. Dear viewers, you are welcome again to our program, Family Circle.
A family, they can't tell anybody. They can't even cry. You don't want to remember what your parents go through. You don't.
So when you start the program or parents or family be pressurizing you, when are you going to you want to understand one another? And
The way they should communicate is discuss everything. Don't keep any matter to yourself. Now, if you don't understand,
All right, viewers, you are welcome back to this show, and this is Family Circle TV show where we are trying to see how we can help families that are having one issue or the other in their marriages, or those who want to step into marriage to learn on how they can manage their homes when they come into it. And we'll be talking about the issue of communication. How do you communicate in your family? How do you bring people together to communicate? And we have seen all of this in all we have been discussing. We want to still elaborate into that same issue. I just said that there are things that should be between husband and wife, and Reverend here said it should be open communication for everybody to know exactly what it is.
Okay,
And,
I want to correct that.
I'm coming, just hold on.
I would like to correct that.
I want Pastor Mrs. Yemisi to
No,
say
no, let
something.
me correct that
Okay.
because it's an interruption for my word.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did not say everything. Of course, you know that. Will you go and tell your children when you and your husband are having tacos? You can't say that. So it's not everything.
Okay.
You
All right.
understand?
Okay.
I am only saying that some families, they are so confined that they think that their children don't know
And that
what
is
they are
not good.
doing.
That is not good.
And it deteriorates children and even the woman. Some men will be maltreating their wife. Their wife don't know who to express to. You should have confidence with your children. Depend on how you train them. I am saying that, I use myself as an example. I said that today, most of the things my mom was supposed to say, she will not say. Not that she's maltreated, but expression of feelings, it releases. Unless you don't train a mature child. You mentioned here before that. You want your children to learn so that when they grow up, they will know how to handle issues. For me, I like to teach my children how to handle issues. I have one daughter, all right? They know we live a very peaceful family that anybody would desire. If you live in my house, you will never hear any noise, not even the children or the husband. I would say it's by grace because that's what we pray out. And we are living peacefully. You will not hear exchange of word or husband quarreling. No, because we have understanding in things we do. But what I'm saying that is that I said that when I was growing up, I see my mother will never communicate all those deep something. But me, when something bothers me, I will let my daughter to know that I am not happy. And she will ask me. So it's good, not everything, but there are some things you need to, that the children already know, that you need to resolve it in a way that they will learn the lesson on how issues are resolved, and at the same time there is peace and harmony.
Okay, let me ask a question before I come to the other request.
Okay.
Those things or the things you say they are bothering you, do you have chance to discuss it with your husband? Because your husband should be your point one of discussion, except is the cause or is the I want to understand that, because I don't expect you to go to your children first when your husband is there.
No, of course we have already said, we don't have, okay, I don't know, it's like there's a misconception.
Yes.
Okay, there is something they say, okay, family issue.
Okay.
Family issue.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It doesn't mean that me and my husband are fighting and I'm running to my children.
Okay.
No.
Oh, fantastic.
There are family issues. There are issues it relate to children. It relate to everybody.
Good.
You understand?
I understand.
So maybe my husband and I discuss it, and he did not understand.
No, I get you now.
You understand?
I get you.
And then I can go to my child. Okay, let me use this as an example. I know this is we are on a TV show, and this is how I solve mine. Okay, for example, now I want to buy this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to change this in my house. And I
table you mean?
The table, for example. And I talked to my husband, and he said, no, we don't need it. We don't need it. Or, there is no money. Don't worry about this. You understand?
Mm.
And I know that this table need to be changed. How do we do it? Right?
Mm.
And I know that he's not against it. All he wants, if I can figure out on how to do this. You understand? Sometimes men will say, okay, don't worry, we don't need it, blah, 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 So I can go to my children, I will call them and say, see, this thing now, we need to change this thing. What do you think we should do about this thing? Daddy did not want us to change it. You understand? Then we'll come up together and think of how we get this thing done. Which I know that will make Daddy happy also.
Okay.
For
To
this
make
thing get
Daddy
to
happy.
change. You understand? So solving problem and bringing harmony into home is something that you can also discuss with your children.
Okay.
And then also, some women, when they are angry, or maybe something is bothering them, they will go outside, go and talk to their friends, right? And go and talk to their friend, tell all their relation, oh, see what is happening in my house, so my husband did this to me, oh. I will never do that.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we hear Pastor Mrs. Service, because she's eager to say something about this. So can we hear your view?
The point you made there was what we need to ask you that which areas do you think we cannot discuss with our children? Because my own children are part of me. So I want to hear from you which area. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. See, the thing is this.
Even I believe that in your own period that you're in the room, one room, then you're growing. You go out now, you go to school.
Yeah.
And maybe you've forgotten. You will hear that one or two things. So that absolutely you not hear anything. Maybe you've forgotten.
No, I wouldn't say I've forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't.
For them to not
When you go to school now,
no, not for them not to talk at all that your children will hear. Absolutely, they will not hear anything.
Like I said, Pastor Larry have just said it. They have that time. I did not hear it. I'm telling you today, I do. The only time I hear them talk is if they want to punish all the children.
If you want to eat, when they say, what are you eating? Daddy, what are you eating? Children, what are you eating? They will talk now. We are talking of communication, not aspect, general one.
No, man. It's not all. For example, if I do anything wrong, my mother will tell my daddy. My daddy will flog me. Right? Are you getting that? That is not an intimate or something that is very important, right? We want to eat. There is food there, go and eat. Daddy, will you eat? That is also communication in itself. But we're not looking at, there are some things, there are some families, there are some couples, they don't even talk at all. That's why I brought my parents. I don't know when.
They have mouths.
Yeah, they talk. We have just said now that they have a time that we did not figure the time out. Never. We never figured the time they talk. We never.
Okay, even when you go to school and you have an assignment, you come back, you don't even say what did you do in school.
No, when we come back, I don't even meet my father at home. It's only my mother that was teaching us how to read. Do you see that? My father goes to work.
Your home is an exception.
My father goes to work and come back.
Okay, can I add up to that?
Yeah.
I am saying that depending on what you say, not about talking, and we are not focusing on problems alone.
Yeah.
Talking things that the children will be carried along. For me, I totally don't encourage that silence. Just like I said, on my own, you understand? My father was a chief, and my mom, is a wife, is youthful wife. They live peacefully, Though when they quarrel, sometimes we know. But my mother never shared anything with us. She never expresses her worries, her pains. You understand? And we don't like it.
Okay.
Now we wish that she expresses, and I do not want to build on that because I know to us, we don't know anything. She never tell any secret or anything. So the way I build my own children, my children knows everything within the house. They know everything. They know about money. They know about property. They know everything. If I want to buy something, we bring them in. Or want to make any decision, they know. If I'm not here, they know from A to Z. Even when they're in school, I will go each one of them. Good. Yeah, because I don't want to repeat. It's not that it's bad, but after my mother passed away, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. My elder sister, when she was living with my elder sister in the US, she never shared anything. And then she passed away.
Okay.
And nothing that will say, oh, my mother, about the marriage and all that. We don't learn anything in the marriage.
We are talking about holistic communication. We're talking
Okay.
about holistic
So that's
communication.
part of communication.
Yeah, that so we are now looking at holistic communication, but we started by looking at communication between the husband and the wife. How are they communicating? And you agree with me today that we have barriers of communication. We have misunderstanding when we are communicating. So let us move into this discussion of the
Sure.
barriers and the misunderstanding that is involved in communication. You won't tell me that you guys don't have misunderstanding.
No.
So what are those things?
Okay, let me just say something. Your wife was talking about or you brought up a question about an issue about newlywed couple.
Yeah.
I want to just draw us back to the fact that I believe that for the newlywed couple, like we did, you ask one another, what are your do's and your don'ts?
Good.
What do you like? What don't you like? Do you understand? Like e.g., when we started, when the time we got married, so I remember that we said, okay, we want our house to be a blessing to other people. So when they come in, they find something to eat. Then we talked about if anyone offends one another, just learn to say sorry. Then we talked about maybe having joint accounts. We talked about how many children we want to, when we want to start having children. Do you know when you start the that one, parents or family they be pressurizing you? When are you going to? We want to understand one another and know one another at least for maybe 1 year and even stabilize financially so that there won't be additional burden. Do you understand? And we agree. So when we are talking of after agreement between a wife and the husband, people when they just get married as well, they should have something like that. Like, always go back to the timetable, to the drawing board. What did we say?
Yes.
What is the food that you like best? My husband likes to do plantain, fried plantain and beans. I don't like it. I don't like it. But if you know that you love this food, and me I like rice, my best food. I can eat rice in the morning, afternoon, evening, and night. He will go to the kitchen and cook his beans and do his dodo, plantain, you know, fried plantain. The rice will be there. You may not want to eat. I'm tired of eating rice. I've been eating my rice. I'm not tired of. I can eat the rice with okra. I can eat rice with everything. Yes, as well as rice, I'll eat it. So that is that. Then after agreement for a new couple, they should follow it. You know, people are coming, and when you're having friends, unfriendly friends, and you start telling people about yourself, that's where the problem comes in.
Okay.
Like, I have few friends, I don't discuss my issues or my family issues with friends. I will listen to them. My husband knows, they will talk to me, but they won't hear anything from me. You come to talk to me about yourself, I won't say my own. And
Okay.
that has been my part. And I'm still enjoying it. And my children know that you just listen. You don't say. My dad was saying, oh, maybe I believe I relate my mom that she's doing that. Because I will tell her, so everything you tell people, listen to them, cancel it and cancel them, then keep quiet to yourself. Keep the things to yourself. Because your A by being A to Z. And when you start carrying it around, even in the neighborhood, you become another thing and you don't like yourself. And how will you cope? How will you compose yourself? How will you be stabilized? You talk about your other one problem today. Oh, that was my friend. This is what he said. Tony said this. You won't be stable emotionally. And it might be a problem to you, and you carry the problem to your husband, to everybody, you start nagging. So make it a point of a duty for yourself that I won't be a talkative. I don't want to have much friends. And the friends I have, let's just be friends. I know that I will discuss my personal, my anything, or my family, or my children, or my own problem with them. I rather discuss my problem with my husband, let's take it to God in prayer. Then our children as well. Let's discuss how to resolve it, how to solve this issue. At times, when my husband will say, you're talking to me as if you're talking to another, I don't like that thing. You know, and we don't even quarrel. Before you know it, we start. My daughter will say, oh, You are not. That's it. Oh, that is me, and that is it.
Thank
So
you.
that is how it's supposed to be. All those barriers, we won't allow it to overcome
Overcome.
us.
Reverend.
So I want to agree with you. I have discovered that, remember, from the beginning I said that as marriage grows, you begin to pick up what you want, and agree both of yourselves. When you come to agreement, you and husband and wife, it's easy to keep the rules so that when you remember, even if you want to shout, your mouth will tell you shut up because you have understanding. So a family that agrees that, look, they don't want to make drama in the house. They don't want shout or misunderstanding, and if you see such family, if they abide by it, they will have a peaceful home. And secondly, also, a family that understand each other's role in marriages. One thing that bring effective communication is understanding your role. Because if I know that this is what you are good at doing and you're doing them, even if I'm not there yet, I know that you will do it. So there is no reason for me to shout, right? So I actually agree with you, that communication is something that both of you has to have an agreement and understanding. And once you know that, the flaws of your partner. If you know that your partner is someone that doesn't give you gifts, you don't have to be complaining about the gift because he doesn't give you, because you already know. Even if you want it though, but if you can't change him, what do? You keep fighting. Like, don't be doing trouble on that area. But what I know is that communication is something that we have to improve every day because it's very important.
Yes, the communication is very, very important. In fact, she said something about Adam and Eve. Do you know that what created problem was lack of communication?
Okay.
When the serpent told Eve to eat the apple and said that, oh, did he say when you eat it, you are going to die? Don't mind God. It's because he knows that you are going to be like him. That's why he said so. And Eve kept it from her husband. The Bible says the two of them were naked and they were not ashamed. No secret should be kept from your spouse. Let your wife know everything about you. Let your wife know, let your husband know everything about you. There should be no secrets between the couple. And even Eve had told Adam what the serpent said. Maybe Eve will, Adam will have reasoned better and said, don't mind him more. Let us keep to what God said we should do. And then all the problems that came into the world, maybe it will not have come. So there should be no communication is very, very important.
So we are saying that barriers to communication could be like a third party, like
allowing third parties.
Allowing third parties to come into your matter.
Yeah.
And you also said something about
The Bible says two is better than one.
yes,
So
absolutely.
and even they join together as husband and wife, they will have been able to push the serpent away.
And also, if I'm going to pick anything from what you have said, sir, I'll also draw another barrier from that issue in the sense that don't keep things to yourself alone.
Yeah.
Because the moment you keep to yourself, like my wife rightly said, you are not in my mind to know exactly what is running in my mind, except I tell you this is what. I don't know, do you have anything to add to this in the issue of barriers? What do you think can cause? What are the barriers that you feel? Maybe one or two or something like that.
Okay, what like other barriers that may be in between couple? I feel maybe like keeping things to yourself
Mm-hmm.
is one of them. Not sharing, not discussing. There are some issues that if you have done something that I don't like, and I should be able to voice it out.
That I don't
Now,
know.
if I voice it out, you should be able to handle it. Say, oh, you don't like this. Okay, it won't happen again. and then you make effort to make sure it does not happen again. Not that after we have discussed it, you keep going back to do the same thing, you know. So now you are bringing the
The confusion and all that. Okay. Well, for I think okay,
Another barrier is money.
money
Can be
in communication.
inconvenient.
Please, can you throw more light to that?
Probably you have a joint account
Okay.
and you agree for what to be using the money for, and one of you go there to tap into the business and without agreement you start spending. Can be a barrier.
Okay.
Another
Okay.
thing is that if it's a wife that is richer than the husband, or the husband richer than the wife, and you start oppressing, that can be a barrier. If you take,
Okay.
by the time you take money to be above the marriage, there won't be communication. There won't be smooth communication.
Okay.
Do you understand?
You'll be lording. You become the Lord. That do you know how much I'm bringing to this house that you are doing? I don't want to listen to you.
So that, and you to the extent of making the children to realize that it is you. Don't answer him. What does he have? Don't answer her.
Okay.
So that is another barrier.
Okay.
Then another barrier is the family, parents. Running back to your parents. When the
Fantastic.
Bible says, therefore shall a man leave
Leave
his
and
father and his mother
cleave
and cleave.
Cleave.
When you are not cleave, every time you go back
to your parents.
to ask
Yes.
advice. Or man saying that, I want to be like my father. You can't control me. This is the way my father did to my mother, and I will do like that to you. That's another barrier.
Okay,
Alright.
just cut it off so that we can come back to retaking. Because the point you're giving are very crucial, and each point can be elaborated because it's a very large one.
Yes.
So I will pick on, you mentioned first the barrier, I can't remember that again.
Money.
But what came to my mind,
Money.
money, that's another, I'll come to that. I want to come to lack of listening. Now we are talking the main heart of communication. You mentioned something that when the husband does not respond or deal with the issue and try to waive it, that one alone pains women a lot. When you think that, oh, it should not be resolved, you can bring another issue. Sometimes men can just bring another issue to cover that issue. Most times they don't even take it seriously, right? So inactive listening, lack of listening. That means when a woman is talking, you don't even listen, because of course when you listen and you understand, you will respond. You hear it,
pressing food.
yes, and don't even take it. These are baby, and then when they ask you,
Walking and listening at the same
when they
We are multitasking.
who does not multitask? Okay, so a woman wants to be heard, even if you don't have anything to contribute.
Just listen.
Pretend as if you
You are
are
listening.
listening to say something.
Okay.
So say something. If you don't have answer, then you can say, okay, this thing we're going to resolve it, or do something to make that woman feel good.
Thank you.
Women don't like when they are expressing their feelings and the husband is doing as if.
I think we are going to
Now,
change.
Reverend has brought out a very, very important issue.
Okay.
Because when we talk about communication, it is not a monologue.
Yeah.
It is a dialogue.
Yes.
I talk to you, you
You
respond.
answer.
That is communication.
Exactly.
So, it's either,
So how do we- how do that
if the
problem
husband
is
says
solved?
something or the wife says something,
Mhm.
the other
Yeah,
spouse must
Yeah, agree.
respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is
Okay. Let's okay.
communication.
Since I'm the host, let's do it this way. Viewers that are listening to us, we want to, maybe we are going to be taking 1 minute each to see how do you resolve,
That issue.
so that we can round off this show. We have Pastor Mrs. Yewisi has brought out some issues which we cannot deal with on this table. We have to go back and see how we come back again to pieces it, because these are serious issues that she has raised. But like I said, viewers, you are still on the Family Circle show, and As we round up now, we want to invite everybody on this panel to give us 1 minute solution to solving the problems that we have opened up and see how we can give you something to take home. So I don't know if Sister Yemisi, maybe you're going to start to tell us how can we solve some of these problems that we have raised on this table. Just give us one or two, we'll be fine, then we move on, then we'll just call like this, then we end it. Yes.
Okay, one is a wife and a husband should have open heart, open mind
Okay.
to one another, not hiding anything. Even if you have to, maybe if you have to hide something, maybe at the end of it, or maybe you want to surprise your partner.
Okay, surprise.
Surprise. That one is understandable. And if your husband or your wife is telling you that this is what he or she likes, try to, we are weaker vessels, to come to the level of one another, especially the level of the woman. We are soft hearted and want to be treated as somebody special. So the husband should treat the wives as special vessels.
Yes.
And be open. Then family that pray together, come together, they dwell together, they love one another. There's no way you won't communicate.
Thank you very much. Pastor Larry, can we just hear your input, sir?
Let me just talk about the issue of interference by third parties, especially those who go back to their parents to take advice on all issues, and they use it to deal with their spouse. It should not be so.
Okay.
Where I come from, in my Yoruba tribe, there is a Yoruba proverb. It says, if the wall does not open up itself, the lizard will not have the chance to enter into it.
True.
So when we allow people to, tell people about our family issues, we encourage them to plant seeds of discord into our home. There are some, women, especially, women normally have friends. And men may not have any friends, but women, in the process of telling the other lady, this is how much my wife gives me as an upkeep allowance. Maybe the other woman, maybe she's not even getting up to that. She'll say, you are the one that allows him now. Me, I get to so amount. And before you know it, the woman will go back to the husband and begin to quarrel.
Okay.
That's why the Joneses, this is what Mr. Jones gives to his wife. And all that. So it is better. Some sensitive issues should not be.
Maybe that's why Jesus was saying, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So don't bring in the third party.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can we hear from Divine, my wife? Yes.
I feel we should listen to each other more.
Okay.
And then we should also have opportunity to express ourselves. Don't keep things hidden in your heart. Say, let me keep it to myself. It's better you air it, so that there won't be too many things swept under the carpet. Because one day...
That's where there's carpet.
Yes. It will burst up and you will not like it. So it's better you discuss issues rather than keep it to yourself.
Okay. Reverend?
Okay, thank you so much. I would say that first of all, in the area of money, I know not all family join their money together, but I believe that before couple agree that they want to join their money together as one, they love each other and they work together.
And they understand the principle.
Yes, and I think she mentioned that they put money together at this point in time. I believe that a family that put money together, someone among two of them will be very good at managing.
Okay,
so the other should not just go and be spending out of that, meaning that the management of their account will be dedicated to the woman or the man
that knows how to manage.
That does not mean that the woman will not use or the man will not use. But if you know that you have to let the other person know, because sometimes the other person is managing the account, to make sure that it covers the family needs and expenses within the period of time. And if you just go and order money in, it can just cause havoc there. So understanding husband and share account should be able to trust one another, and also don't let anger go. Don't sleep with anger overnight. Let anger go and love each other deeply and sacrificially. Meaning that most families these days, they are not in marriage to sacrifice for each other. They are in marriage for themselves. And they are not building on the development of that marriage, which comprises their children. Remember, if you build a strong foundation, you and your husband are developing, does not mean that you not take care of your family or the husband take care of his family, but the paramount important is your family that covers your children, right? Then any external can be taken care of, right? Don't build in the sense that you are just not considering your children and your marriage, your husband, rather than looking for others to succeed. Speak the truth at all time in love. When you speak the truth, you don't hide anything. I sometimes I wonder why family are not. You should not hide anything. And if you don't hide anything, you have peace. You are not afraid of anything. Whether your husband take your phone or you are discussing, or your husband knows that the truth is truth. There is no hidden agenda. Praise the Lord. Forgive each other easily. Bear each other's burden. You should be able to care for your husband, people, as much as you care for your people. Don't be doing as if your own is the one important and the husband own is not important. All of them, when the husband or the wife know that her issue is your issue and your issue is her issue, there will be peace in the home. The communication will flow because there is no hidden agenda. Submit to each other and also pray together.
Thank you very much. Viewers at home, you have heard today that communication is very important in marriages, and you heard the solutions. You must try as much as possible to keep your communication intact. Be open. You must pray together. You must ensure that you don't bring third party into your communication, and holistically let everybody in the house know exactly what you are doing. Now, if you want to run a joint account, it's possible. Some people are doing it. If you are not there yet, ask that God will help you, because the Bible says, "And the two became one." And for you to become one, you must understand each other. As we sign out, we hope once again to meet you at our next episode. And we believe that when we come again, you'll be learning so much from us. I want to thank our Reverend for having this opportunity to come, and my amazing wife and their daily pets. Thank you so much for the valuable input and your time that you have given to us here. And we believe that when we call again in the future, you will have that privilege to be here again. God bless you. Dear viewers, you are welcome again to our program, Family Circle.
A family, they can't tell anybody. They can't even cry. You don't want to remember what your parents go through. You don't.
So when you start the program, or parents or family be pressurizing you, when are you going to you want to understand one another? And
The way they should communicate is discuss everything. Don't keep any matter to yourself. Now, if you don't understand